A few days ago, a man called Azar Ahmed was found guilty under Section 127 of the Communications Act of 2003. What for? For posting this Facebook status update. People gassing about the deaths of soldiers. What about the innocent families who have been brutally killed? The women who have been raped? The children who have been sliced up? Your enemies were the Taliban, not innocent, harmful families. All soldiers should die and go to hell. The low-life fucking scum. Got a problem? Go cry at your soldier's grave and wish him hell because that's where he is going. So this guy, Azar Ahmed, was found guilty under Section 127 of the Communications Act of 2003 for being a dick on Facebook. This is not an isolated incident. An old-age pensioner was threatened with arrest after he put a sign up in his window that read, "Religions are fairy stories for adults." A 15-year-old boy was arrested at a protest for holding up a sign that called Scientology a dangerous cult. A man called Liam Stacey was sentenced to 56 days in prison for insulting footballer Fabrice Muamba over Twitter. A 19-year-old was arrested for barking at a dog. LGBT rights campaigner Peter Tatchell was arrested after holding up a sign that criticised Islamic governments for their persecution of LGBT people. And a 19-year-old man was arrested for calling a policeman's horse gay. So as you can see, that's a fairly wide range of people being threatened with arrest or actually being arrested for saying things that ranged from really benign and silly to genuinely racist and vile. But in essence, these people are being threatened with arrest or actually arrested for saying things. In other words, there are various pieces of legislation in this country that make massive exceptions to free speech. Chief among these is Section 5 of the Public Order Act of 1989, which criminalises speech that is insulting. Section 5 of the Public Order Act reads, 1. A person is guilty of an offence if he A. uses threatening, abusive or insulting words or behaviour, or disorderly behaviour, or B. displays any writing, sign or other visible representation which is threatening, abusive or insulting, within the hearing or sight of a person likely to be caused harassment, alarm or distress thereby. Threatening speech, making threats against people, I understand why that's illegal. Abusive, in certain contexts, yes, I understand why that could be made illegal. But insulting? A person is guilty of an offence if he uses insulting words or behaviour? It's all there in Section 5 of the Public Order Act. The Communications Act of 2003 includes similar provisions, criminalising electronic communications that are indecent, obscene, or for the purpose of causing annoyance. So we have various laws in this country that put limits on people's right to free speech based on whether the speech is insulting or going to cause annoyance. And who is it exactly that decides whether the speech is insulting? Just picking an example out of the group, we have a guy that went up to a policeman and said, "Excuse me, do you realise your horse is gay?" The police said that this was homophobic and caused offence to passers-by, and they arrested him under Section 5 of the Public Order Act. So apparently you have the police or random members of the public deciding whether something is insulting or not, and insulting to a point where one could be arrested for it. These laws would not be constitutional in the United States of America, where they enshrined freedom of speech into their Constitution in the First Amendment. Indeed, it would not pass the imminent lawless action test, which states that speech is not protected by the First Amendment if the speaker intends to incite a violation of the law that is both imminent and likely. All our laws are doing is criminalising speech that is insulting. Insulting is not a necessary precursor to a violation of the law that is both imminent and likely. So in the US, the Communications Act of 2003 and the Public Order Act of 1989 would be struck down as unconstitutional because they needlessly and for no good reason abridge free speech. Not here though, not in the UK. These are laws that are in action, that are leading to threats of arrests, actual arrests, and even in some cases, convictions just for being a dick. Now there are pros and cons to every country. There are a lot of things that I truly value and love about my country, the United Kingdom. Universal healthcare, a sturdy public broadcaster, a general commitment to gay rights. Cider. And furthermore, it's not like we're living in Iran. We can generally say what we want in this country. It's not like anyone's getting thrown in prison in this country for, I don't know, insulting the monarchy. But put up against the USA's constitutional commitment to the primacy of free speech, the UK does not fare well. There are just far many exceptions to freedom of speech in this country for that to be true. These laws are being used to stop people preaching for religion and to stop people preaching against religion. They're being used against Christians, Muslims and atheists. They're being used against the ethnic majority and ethnic minorities. They're being used against gay people and straight people, the elderly and the young. Against liberals and conservatives, right-wingers and left-wingers. Against people who bark at dogs and people who call horses gay. Once again, there are so many things that I cherish and value about my country, but we really need to do better on freedom of speech and expression.